A higher bit depth means a better resolution. Is it really so? We see it in this video. Among the various myths that populate the audio production sector, there is one that deserves particular attention, namely that a greater bit depth for a greater number of bits equals a better resolution, a better audio definition. So, 24 bits sound better than 16 bits, and 16 bits sound better than 8 bits. This belief is induced by the fact that intuitively one is led to think that having a greater number of bits, a better representation of the signal details is obtained. But this is not correct. In fact, the real difference is that a file with a higher bit depth has only less noise floor. At the same time, if you reduce the bit depth and do it properly, all you get is a higher noise floor. In this video, I will show you everything and also what I mean by properly reduce the bit depth. I'm going to use a track from a master I produced. It's a cover of Caruso sung by Alicia Fox. It is on digital markets and the link can be found down below in the description box. I have the two tracks here, 24 and 8 bits. While playing, I will switch between the two to let you hear the differences. What you hear is just the noise floor, which is higher in the 8-bit file. Let's now see what are the differences between the two files through a null test. I reverse the polarity of a track and play the project. All what you get is the noise floor. In the null test, by reversing the polarity of one file and summing it to the other, all the identical parts are deleted, only the difference remains. The music of the 24 bits file is therefore identical to that of the 8 bits file, and all that remains is the noise floor. If there were any lost audio details, they would be heard, but there aren't any. So, in terms of resolution, the two files are identical. The resolution doesn't depend on the bit depth. A 24 bits file has the same resolution of an 8 bits one. From the bit scope I have here, we can visually see what I stated earlier. You only heard the noise floor. As I said in the beginning, you can only get it if you properly export the file. What does it mean? It means if you add dither, which means you artificially add noise, before exporting the file to a constant number of bits, 24 or 16 or 8, dither makes the quantization error random, ensuring that only the signal-to-noise ratio is lost and not the useful data, the musical ones. I'll show you now what happens when you don't use dither. Here I have an exported 8 bits track without dither. Listen to it. It's clearly distorted. And only in this case was the resolution of the file lost, but only because the export was not correctly made. It was made without dither. Now I make the null. Can hear all the issues. Pay attention, dither should not be used when you change the sample rate, but only when you change the quantization, that is the bit depth, from floating point to fixed value, for example from 32 or 64 bit float to 24 bits or 16 bits, and when you go down in quantization, for example from 24 bits to 16 bits. Let's recap. A file with a high bit depth doesn't have a higher audio definition. it just has less noise floor. When exporting the file permanently at 24 or 16 bits, the dither must be added. No dither should be added when changing the sample rate or exporting to floating point. If you'd like to get more examples, please check the video by Jan Schäfer here above or down below in the description box. I hope it was useful. I hope you have learned something. That's it for the moment. Thanks for watching.